So I welcome everyone to the School Leadership Development Program by Varthana. Varthana is a NBFC organization that provides financial support to affordable private schools across India. Also, Varthana provides academic solutions to schools, and SLDP is one such initiative by Varthana. Today, we are here to participate in another insightful session of Module 3 of our School Leadership Development Program, that is SLDP 1. This is the last session of the 3-week SLDP series that we've been having the previous Saturday and the previous one. So today is the third session and the last session of SLDP 1. So firstly, let me introduce myself. I am Shweta Mahesh, Senior Education Specialist here at Varthana. We have some recognitions throughout this SLDP 1 series. One is the Spotlight of the Week. That is the participants who actively participate, submit the tasks on time, engage on WhatsApp, discuss, share their thoughts on WhatsApp, collaborate with the other members in the WhatsApp group, share their reflections. So we consider such actively engaging school leaders under Spotlight of the Week. Also, we appreciate the innovation in practice, like any innovative ideas you have implemented in the school, or you have implemented any of our ideas, added more to it into your school. So under this innovation in practice, we will be appreciating them, and also certification of completion. So at the end of this SLDP 1 series, that is today is the last module. So in a span of 3 or 4 days, you will be receiving a certificate. All the participants who have attended all the 3 sessions will be receiving a certificate. So now let's go ahead with the session. So the topic is navigating NEP 2020. So what private schools must act on? So let's see what do we have in store for under this topic. So the agenda for today: introduction and session objectives, NEP 2020, high impact reforms for private schools, some strategies that we can implement in school, planning low cost NEP aligned actions. Next, positioning your school as NEP ready, like branding your schools as NEP ready. And finally, feedback and closing. So at the feedback and closing point, we will be sharing a link of a feedback form. You need to fill that link and mention in the chat box. So once again, I request all the participants to actively engage throughout the session, and any doubts you can raise your hands and we can have a discussion on that. Also, your responses, you can put it down in the chat box. So firstly, we will go ahead with the recap of the previous session, that is the module 2. So the module 2 was all about creating and managing high performing school teams. Yeah. So what we saw there is like how to build an understanding of what makes a high performing school team through different characters or traits like trust, role clarity, and collaboration. We also explored real life scenarios like situations like how to identify the common team challenges in school and what effective resolution strategies that we can implement in the school. Next, we also saw about some tools to delegate and resolve conflict among the team by using tools like RACI matrix and listen, reflect, and respond. Next, we also introduced some practical tools like walkthrough templates and performance rubrics to support teacher development. Also, we practiced how to give constructive feedback to the performance of the teachers using a clear, respectful, and supportive approach. So this is a recap of the module 2 session that we had the previous week. Now we will come to the objectives of the present, that is today's session about NEP 2020 and the priority reforms. So the objectives include to identify the main or the key NEP 2020 reforms that need immediate school level action. Next, we will also see We will also see how to guide teachers in integrating reforms into classroom practice. Next, we will also see how to plan low cost, high impact steps aligned with NEP benchmarks. And next, we will also see how to position our school as NEP ready in vision and parent communication. So keeping these four objectives in mind, let's begin the session with an interesting icebreaker, definitely. The icebreaker goes like this. You can raise your hand and respond. You can put it in the chat box as well. So what is your most favorite feature of NEP 2020 and why? So we already been knowing about NEP 2020 since a long time. So I think you are familiar with it, and you are here to learn more about it, understand more about it. So let's see what is your most favorite feature of NEP 2020 and why. Yeah.
Like mother tongue in the schools, mother they are giving more preference on mother tongue actually.
Mother tongue, yes. So it is like language. So the mother tongue language, which has to be implemented at least up to 5 years. So the subjects have to be taught in the mother tongue. Yes, exactly. So that is your favorite NEP reform.
Yes.
Exactly. Thank you, Bhavisha ma'am. So we also have Usha Rani ma'am responding as interdisciplinary subjects know-how, to know like about the interdisciplinary subjects, like how to connect the subjects with each other while teaching. So it can be English or science or maths. Yes, exactly, Usha Rani ma'am. So that is what is your favorite thought about NEP 2020. Thank you for that. So I think keeping these things in mind, let's go ahead with the session. So we have NEP 2020, high impact reforms for private schools. What are they? Let's see. But before we go ahead, we have a poll for you. Decode NEP 2020, since you're already aware of NEP 2020. So there's a small quiz with two questions. Firstly, NEP 2020 replaces the 10 plus 2 structure with which new structure? A, B, C, D. We have four answers. 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4, 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4, 6 plus 3 plus 3, and no structural change at all.
It's B 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4.
5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. Yes. That's the answer. So 5 years is the foundational phase. That is 3 years of preschool plus grade 1 and 2. 3 years, the next is 3 years of preparatory phase, grade 3 to 5. The next again is 3 years of middle phase, that is grade 6 to 8. And next is 4 years, secondary phase, that is grade 9 to 12. So 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. Next, one more question for you. Why did NEP 2020 shift to the 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 model? To reduce syllabus burden, to align with global best practices and child development stages, to make exams easier, or to increase the number of school years? Okay, Usharani ma'am says option B, that is to align with global best practices and child development stages. Yeah, so definitely the answer is B. So this structure is very developmental appropriate, ensuring that is age appropriate, ensuring that all learning experiences are given according to the age across all the stages. So that is why it is development appropriate structure. So now we know a lot about the basic structure and the concepts about NEP 2020. So with this strength, let's move ahead with National Education Policy, NEP 2020. So what is it? We already know it's a Government of India policy. It's a framework that guides the transformation of education system in India, again from early childhood to higher education. So that's why 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. And now, how students learn under this NEP 2020? So it's like a shift from rote learning, that is memorizing, by hearting the concepts, textbook lessons, to competency-based learning. So here, a lot of skill-based learning is happening now, according to the new structure, the new curriculum. Sorry, the textbooks They are shifting. The NEP 2020 is asking the schools to not just teach the concepts in the textbooks, but to, teach it through activity and experiential learning. So just not textbooks and rote learning, but also doing a lot of activity, skill based and experiential learning. Also next, NEP 2020 is asking not to just focus on syllabus completion, but to focus on the learning outcomes, like what the student has learned, how much he has learned, how much of the concept is understood. So the focus should shift to that. Okay, so these are the three ways how the student is going to learn under NEP 2020. What is the main focus here in NEP 2020? One is foundational literacy and numeracy. It's called as FLN. Next is early childhood care and education. It is called as ECCE. Next one is holistic development of the child. And next one is equitable and inclusive education. So this is the main focus of NEP 2020. And how is it supporting learning in NEP 2020? How we should support the learning according to the new curriculum and the guidance is technology integration, skill development, continuous and competency based assessments, and system level reforms. So as and well where the reforms are required, accordingly changes has to be brought in the school. So this is about a general overview of new education or the National Education Policy 2020, how students learn, what to be focused on, and what kind of support to be given to learning. So now coming to the main reforms, there are many reforms that are suggested by NEP 2020 from school to college level. So the main reforms that as a school, as a priority now we need to focus to reach the NEP goals are: first one is FLN. Second one is ECCE. The third one is competency-based assessments. And the fourth one is skill and experiential learning. So these are the four main reforms. If the school prioritizes and implements successfully in the school, then you are almost aligned to the new education or the National Education Policy goals. So these are the four areas we need to prioritize. So let's delve into depth about each of these reforms. Foundational literacy and numeracy, that is FLN. So what is this? As we already know, it is the ability of every child to read, write, or perform basic mathematical operations by grade 3. Again, the government has given a structure and a mission, Nipun Bharat mission. So what is this Nipun Bharat basically? It's nothing but an initiative by Ministry of Education in India, which has launched this initiative to ensure that every child in the country compulsorily attains foundational literacy and numeracy by the end of grade 3. And the goal, the closest goal is like by 2026-27, the government wants to reach or achieve this Nipun Bharat mission. So why is this foundational literacy and numeracy important? Because 70% of learning gaps begin in the early ages. So at this foundational level, if the proper concepts have not been given to the students, then there will be a lot of learning gap, which will be difficult to cover in the future or in the higher classes. So that is one reason FLN should be focused in the school. Next, without FLN, children fall behind irreversibly. So it's like once foundation is not given correctly, they go to the higher classes. Now it is irreversible. The damage has happened. Now it is very difficult whether you do remedial, you do anything, still it is kind of almost irreversible to make the foundations strong. Now, it is the core of all future learning. So it is once again understood FLN is the main basis. Now, what is the NEP 2020 expectations? So its expectation is it expects schools to implement a Nipun Bharat aligned strategies. By 2025, regular monitoring and support for those with learning gaps has to happen, and completely this problem of learning gaps has to be overcome, and all the students should be assured with confident English or mathematic foundational skills. So, as I was talking to you about Nipun Bharat and Nipun Bharat strategies, I'd like to show you a few strategies suggested by Nipun Bharat. Play print rich environment, the first one. So this will be shared in the group, so the details can be you can go through it later. The name itself gives the meaning. Actually, it's explanatory. Activity based and play based learning. The 3R focus: reading, writing, arithmetic. Peer learning and buddy support, formative assessments for learning, multilingual and contextual learning, learning outcomes and competency tracking, parent engagement, teaching learning materials to be used, and technology integration. So these are the main strategies, that is the Nipun Bharat strategies. If you implement this in your classroom successfully, then you are like aligning to the Nipun Bharat strategies, and you are close to the NEP goal expectation. So what schools can do, as I said, one is implement all the Nipun Bharat strategies in the classroom at the FLN level. So screen early learners for FLN gaps. Identify is there any learning gap in the child by conducting assessments, etc., talking to the children one-on-one, and identify the gaps. And then use play-based and visual strategies while teaching. Train teachers to track FLN progress weekly. So at what level the child is, like track the progress of the child week wise. It's not just half yearly or towards the end of the year, but it is week wise. You need to track the progress of the children. And next is setting up FLN corners or areas in the school, and as well parent involvement programs like conducting activities or methods where parents can be involved in the school with the children, maybe some competitions or some activities with the students. So in this way, so these are the different ways the school leader can focus when you're trying to implement foundational literacy and numeracy. So this is about FLN. Next, we'll go ahead with early childhood care and education. So FLN comes under early childhood care and education because once again, it is the foundational stage here, that is 3 years to 8 years. So this phase or this reform covers age 3 to 8, and it is a very critical learning phase here. And the new structure that we spoke about, that is 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4, this begins from this stage, that is the pre-primary school we can call. So what is the importance of ECCE? 85% of brain development happens before the age of 8. That is why ECCE should be taken utmost care. Poor early education, if it happens, then it leads to lifelong deficits. That is, there will be lifelong learning problem in the students. So to overcome this, ECC should be one of the major focus in schools. Now, what is NEP 2020 expectation here? Shift from rote learning methods to activity-based learning and holistic development activities for the students. And the goal is, like, by 2025, access to ECCE facilities should be there for all the students, so that cognitive, socio-emotional, and physical growth, that is overall holistic development of the student, happens. So what is this ECCE facilities? It's nothing but the infrastructure in the school and the resources that is provided in the school to the student learning or the teachers to teach. So these are the which are again aligned to the foundational level, that is the Nipun Bharat strategies or the national curriculum framework. So these are nothing but the ECCE facilities. What schools can do? Again, align pre-primary curriculum with play methods, Train teachers in child development, not just how to teach the subject. So give them some training and understanding about what is a child, how his brain develops, what are his psychological and physical needs, what are the different stages of learning, etc. So the complete child development aspects can be discussed with the teachers. Then partner with parents for home learning routines. You can give some home learning routines, like how the child can be monitored at home, how some timetable or routine can be set in the students. So all this kind of ideas or orientations can be given to the parents. Next is use the NCF, that is the National Curriculum Framework for the Foundational Stage 2022 as a guide. So now what is this NCF? I will again show you that. So this NCF is the foundational stage features that needs to be included. It's like a guide what has to be implemented in the school. So the key features include play-based pedagogy. Teaching method should be play-based. Holistic development, which includes physical, socio-emotional, cognitive, language, and aesthetic development. Multilingual exposure should happen. Flexible timetables should be there. Theme-based and integrated learning should happen. And continuous observation and assessment should also take place. So this is National Curriculum Framework at the foundational stage. So this is all about early childhood care and education. Any doubts, anything you'd like to ask teachers, school leaders? Let's go ahead with the next reform, competency-based assessment. So here the main focus is on evaluating students' abilities and skills to apply knowledge in the real life scenarios, real life situations, than just recalling the information, trying to remember what concepts they have learned. No, here it is more of practical application of whatever knowledge they are gaining, and to what level they are able to apply and understand. So those skills need to be assessed. So this is competency based assessment. So what is its importance? Help students to learn how to think, not just what to remember. Encourages deeper and life ready learning, and then makes report cards more holistic and useful for growth. So definitely if you're assessing the competency of the students, so the marks card or the report card also, you'll be mentioning about different competencies and at what grade or how much marks they have secured. Next one is what is NEP 2020 expectation in this aspect. Shift from rote-based exams to concept-driven multi-formal assessments. Next is by 2025, focus on learning outcomes that emphasize understanding, thinking, and application. That is the different competency skills we can say. What schools can do? Map the assessments to learning outcomes. So whatever test or exams you conduct, don't just focus on what answers the child has written or how much of concept he is able to explain or do some orals and all that, but assess them on how much he is able to understand it and apply in the real life scenario. So that is called the learning outcome of the child, and not just a syllabus. Use tools like rubrics, portfolios, assessment templates, and assess the learning outcome of the students. I'll be showing you some templates on how to assess based on competency. Next, include real world tasks in the test. So any test you conduct, don't just give question answers, fill in the blanks, match the following. No, maybe age appropriate projects can be given, age appropriate activities can be given to the students as projects, etc. So in this way, you can test their understanding of the concepts. Next, explain new formats clearly to parents as well as students also. So not only guiding the teachers on using new templates, different formats and different methods of teaching learning, but also orient the parents and students beforehand so that they will know what kind of teaching, learning and assessments will happen in the school. So this is all about competency-based learning or competency-based assessment. And then the fourth component we come to is experiential and skill-based learning. So here the main focus is on hands-on activity-based learning. Here students learn by doing, and it's not just science or social, it's across all the subjects. And also integrating, another main focus is you have to integrate the 21st century skills. So what is the importance of experiential skill-based learning? You build critical thinking, creativity, collaboration. These are nothing but 21st century skills and many more to this. Also, make learning joyful, contextual, and lasting. It should not be monotonous and boring. Okay. And it should also, if they involve with hands on experiences, they will remember the concepts lifelong. Equip students with future ready skills. So, with experiential skill based learning, you will be equipping them with future ready skills. They will be prepared for their future and the future careers, etc. What is NEP 2020 expectation? Vocational exposure from grade 6, that is including coding, financial literacy, problem solving, etc., etc., different carpentry, art, craft, etc., like all vocational exposure to the students from grade 6. I think as school leaders, you must have implemented vocational subjects in your schools also post grade 6. Next, by 2025, aim for widespread adoption to prepare students for real world changes. So this is the aim of the NEP by 2025. So that is one thing. And coming to what school leaders can do in this area, rework lesson plans to include mini projects and real world links, like linking the projects and activities to the real world scenario, setting up student clubs or work areas or spaces, and role play corners. So in the school, you can rearrange the infrastructure in the classroom or have some classrooms or areas assigned for activity based learning. Create student clubs wherein the student participates in debates, etc., or together they work on some projects. So in this way you can refurbish your infrastructure. And then celebrate process over product in the classroom tasks. So whatever activity you give to the students, so don't just assess the student on the end product, like how he has bought or what is the end product, how much he has scored, etc. No, you need to assess the child throughout the process, his involvement, collaboration, understanding of the concepts, implementing it in creating the project or writing the project, etc. So celebrate the process. So wherever the child is showing some kind of positive improvement or has some innovative involvement, appreciate the students then and there itself. So next one, what school leaders can do is you need to, most importantly, train the teachers to shift from content delivery to facilitation. So teachers should become facilitators. They should not just deliver the content or teach the subject to the students like chalkboard method. No, more than that, you should support the students in learning. So this is about experiential and skill-based learning. So till now we saw about the four reforms: FLN, ECCE, competitive assessments, and experiential learning, its importance, NEP 2020 expectations in each component, and what school leaders can do. So now let's have a small discussion. I want once again active participation by the school leaders. Either use a chat box or you can unmute and speak. What aspect of NEP 2020, that is the four reforms we spoke now, like is your school actively working on? So actively you're planning to implement or you have already implemented in school, which of the five? A, B, C, D, E. So you can just type the alphabets also is fine. You can unmute and speak. Which reform have you implemented or started planning to implement in the school? Yes, 21st century skills is what ma'am says. So it is very much aligned to probably skill-based and experiential learning. Yes, Usha ma'am. Among the five mentioned here, FLN, ECCE, assessment reform, skill-based experiential learning, not started yet, or still understanding NEP. Anything? Option D, skill-based experiential learning. Yes, Vandana ma'am. You have implemented or started implementing that. That's a good initiative. Yeah, I think for me, If I want to implement something, yeah, B, Bhavishya ma'am says B, early childhood care and education. Yes. Yeah, I think so. If I were to think about starting something, maybe I would also initially, if it's my first step, then I would start working on FLN and ECCE component and gradually implement C and D also. Okay, so now we spoke about the four reforms. Let's look into some strategies, methods, how we can implement or the teachers can implement it in the classroom, or how you can encourage the teachers to implement in the classroom. So foundational literacy and numeracy. One of the strategy I would like to give here is daily FLN practice time. So what is this? So allocate 30 minutes. So every day, 30 minutes should be focused on reading and numeracy practice from grade 1 to 3, as well as the lower grades also, but more specifically 1 to 3. Here you can use engaging activities like phonic games, story reading, counting with objects, number songs, etc. I think the list is endless when it goes to creativity. So you can ask your teachers to be as creative as possible here. So, but most important thing is 30 minutes daily. It's again a practice time. So it's not adding new concepts here, new teaching, but it's practice time. Whatever is learned previously, that practice has to keep on happening repeatedly every day. So that is daily FLN practice time. Next one is Nipun Bharat aligned assessment tools. As we already discussed earlier, I showed you the Nipun Bharat strategies. That document will be sharing in the group also. So all your assessments, you align it to those strategies, like track each child's progress also by aligning it to those strategies. And how you can track is through simple checklist, or you can give some worksheets. Nipun Bharat also has a set of worksheets created, so that can be used, or you can align Nipun Bharat worksheets. You can also mean by aligning all the worksheets that you create to the strategies mentioned in the Nipun Bharat strategy list. So then next one is identify children's need, uh, children that need support, at what stage they need support, and provide targeted intervention in small groups or one-on-one intervention. Like you can train or teach the students one-on-one, identify what their problems are. So give personalized learning to some students who require that. Also involve multimodal teaching, like all senses you can involve, the teachers can involve when they are teaching the students. They can see that they can, that the strategy should be touching all the multi senses, like whether through seeing they are learning, through hearing they are learning, so like that. So identify what kind of support the child needs, and then go ahead with the foundation and literacy, numeracy reform in the classroom. So these are the two strategies that are very interesting. The next one is, I would like to show you when we are having this foundational literacy, numeracy, all the activities, everything is being done. How do you track the students' progress? So this is a small template or a tracker that we have created. So it's with two subjects, language and mathematics. So in the same format, you can create for all the other subjects you would like to include. We will be providing this empty template also. So you can see the student name, the language. Here, two things as of now. As a school leader, I want to assess: can the child identify letters? Can the child read simple words? Yes, you give a tick mark. No, you put a cross. Same thing with mathematics. Can the child count up to 50? Can it solve simple sums? Accordingly, make a note. The teacher has to make a note, like what is the success level and what improvement is needed, and accordingly provide the feedback to the students. And since the students are small, giving feedback doesn't help, but support the students, give them personalized learning, and help them improve over their uh, over the competencies or areas where they are lacking. So this is how you can actually work on filling the learning gaps of each student at the foundational level. So next, coming to ECCE. some two strategies that I would like to put forward here. First one is thematic learning environment. So organize ECC classrooms with learning corners like nature corner, toy corner, etc. So you can, whatever ECC classrooms, early childhood classrooms, that is LKG, nursery, pre-KG, UKG, etc. So here you can have theme corners in the classroom permanently, or you can also use monthly themes. Themes can change in the classrooms also. It's like usually schools, you have a yellow day, green day, etc. So you'll also be decorating the classroom with the same color. So the same thing, the theme learning environment. So this can be monthly also, the whole month you can play around different concepts and teach them different things through a common theme. So use monthly themes like animals, my family, or seasons, and for all the integrated activities that you're doing in the classroom. The next strategy is definitely implement play-based, child-centered activities. So again, include songs, stories, puzzles, etc., which help in developing, the language, motor skills, curiosity of the students. One most important thing: avoid formal teaching, that is blackboard chalk method, but focus on joyful experiential learning in the early years. This will help in faster learning of the concepts or information that you want to teach the children. So as under ECC, I said theme-based learning you can do. So I'd like to show some examples of themes that you can implement in the classroom. So my family and me, like for example, a sample activity, drawing the family or family role play, then skills developed, self-awareness, communication, emotional bonding. So you can have a template like this, pre-hand, prepare all these things, and the teachers can implement it month by month in the classroom. So my family and me, animal around us, food and health, season and weather, people who help us. So these are the different themes and many more according to the curriculum. You can add, make a template like this and share it to the teachers so they can implement it successfully in the classrooms. So this theme list also we will provide in the group. Going ahead with competency-based assessment. Regular low stake assessments is one strategy. So replace the unit test or monthly, the midterm and the final exams. But in addition to that, have weekly quiz, oral questions, exit slips, small projects in the classroom so that you can assess the students' learning immediately after the lesson or a concept is being taught. So then give constructive feedback also immediately to the students so that they can improve and understand where they're lacking or where they need improvement. Also give positive feedback and appreciate the students who have done well. So the other strategy is use rubrics for skill-based evaluation. It's nothing but you have a standard structure wherein you evaluate, you'll give grades according to the performance of the students. So design rubrics for the competencies such as problem solving, creativity, communication, as well as train teachers how to use these rubrics and assess the students. So one example of an assessment rubric. So the subject, this is for a grade 5. Subjects, you have math, social, English, and science. The topics, factors, and if maths, factors and multiples you're teaching, the learning outcome is like at the end of the lesson, you want the child to solve a real life problem involving common multiples. So what is the competency you're trying to test here? Problem solving. Is the child able to solve the problems? Problem solving ability. So rubric, if it is 4, then he's able to solve it with clearly with all the clear steps. If it's 3, he's correct, but minor help is required. If it is 2, partially understood the concept and some errors are present and then unable to solve the or explain. It is in 1. So this way, the rubrics can be, uh, changed or modified according to your requirement and then used in the classroom to assess the competency of the student. So this is one way the competency assessments can happen in the classroom. Coming to experiential and skill-based learning, some two strategies I'd like to give here is weekly life skill periods. It means every week have one period allotted for life skills, teaching life skills like time management, teamwork, first aid, etc. And when you're teaching these life skills, wherever possible, if any local professionals or if parents can, with that profession or skill, etc., can come to the classroom and talk about the skill to the students and give them practical experience, would be a wonderful activity that you can have every week in the classroom as a skill period. Second one is real life projects and subjects in different subjects to be given to the students. For example, math, ask the students to measure the classroom furniture if you're teaching measurements. Science, grow a plant, ask the children to grow a plant and record the changes in the classroom, like they need to get a plant, mud, etc. English, if it is English, create a class newspaper with student written articles. This is for the higher grades. So this way, real life projects can be given as skill-based learning. So weekly life skill period you can integrate in your classroom timetable. So one example of a life skill period tracker again, suppose it's a subject science, the project is growing a plant, task, what is the child going to do, skill developed here, observation and recording, materials, whatever required, and timeline, maybe how many days or you need for this activity to complete. So in this way, a period tracker can be created beforehand and then implemented in the classroom by the teachers. So this tracker also will be providing in the group. So now coming to an activity, share any one teaching strategy you'd like to try in your school. I spoke about so many strategies under four categories, four reforms, right? So which strategy you'd like to implement in your, try in your school, or already you are trying, and maybe you can give a reason also. In the meanwhile, as you think, maybe I'll tell what strategy I'd like to implement. Probably I'd like to implement theme-based, and the another one is the life skills period in the school. What about you, school leaders? Anything or anything different you're doing in a school aligned to NEP?
Yes, classroom management,
Okay,
cleaning the materials in the classroom. They'll keep properly. Like it is a life skill only. Basically, it is coming to life.
exactly, exactly. It's a life skill activity. So,
Taking care of friends also.
okay. I remember during my school days, we were asked to like clean the classrooms at the end of this day every day.
Yeah.
Mm, yeah. So that's a life skill, like maintaining cleanliness in the classroom. Yeah.
And when they are playing, they can take care of their friends also.
Yes, taking care of friends. That's another life skill. So these are more important in addition to academics.
We have
Ushara.
separate corners. We have story corner,
Okay.
like that.
Okay,
We
ma'am,
have
you can share some pictures in the group also, your story corner area and all. It
okay,
would be
okay,
delightful to see that, and other school leaders also will be like motivated to implement the same in their school.
okay, ma'am. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Would love to see that.
Club corners.
Club corners. Okay, you have some clubs in the school, and you have made assigned specific corner. What kind of club, sir, Ajay sir?
Yeah, we have four groups: daffodils, asters, dahlias, and red roses.
Mhm.
And for that, again, we have each for each subject a corner is there, and as well as GK and
GK.
a question a day like that.
Okay, so it's like every month it keeps updating, sir.
Yeah,
Mm.
almost five alternate day it will be updated.
Oh, that's great. Students do it.
Yeah, they will pick it up. Thank you.
Good, sir. Thank you. So we'll go ahead. Anything we can also discuss towards the end of the session. Planning low cost NEP aligned action. So we said the four reforms, like how can you make it low cost, affordable, So it's nothing but see, when you're planning NEP aligned activities in the school, it need not require major or heavy funding. Lot of creative thinking can happen, peer collaboration can happen, use the local resources available, rearrange your infrastructure, and actively involve parents also uh, in these things, and also the students. So as Ajay sir said, Usha Rani ma'am said, so in this way you can align the NEP, um, align to the NEP reforms. So foundational literacy and numeracy. So you can see you can use low cost teaching aids like pebbles, bottle caps, flashcards. It's not always necessary. Child needs to buy things from the market, or the school needs to invest heavily on these things. You can get it readily, easily everywhere in the nature also. Conduct peer learning circles for reading and math practice. Set up FLN corners as sir and ma'am discussed. Theme wise, you can have etc. Activity corners in the classrooms, and use repurposed materials, means like recycled materials, reuse some materials which are available. So you can think creatively and modify things. Next one is train teachers to track. This is very important. At what level, foundational level, the child is learning outcome has happened. Track the progress weekly. Train teachers to track that progress of the each child, and provide some tools and checklists also, as we have a tool that I showed you. Similar kind you can also provide to the teachers so that they can keep a track on it and give personalized or one-on-one mentoring to the students as and when required, so that no learning gaps are happening at the foundational stage. In the similar way for ECCE, we can have create learning spaces with homemade toys and storybooks, use song stories and play-based methods for early learning, involve parents through activity sheets and home routines. So send some activity sheets to parents also, so that parents also do some, involve with the child and complete those activities. It's not like the child is given the task and the parent spends the whole day and night working on the task. No, it is something like both can involve and do, or provide some home routines to the parents, so how they can monitor their child. And next, offer basic orientation of ECCE principles to all the staff in the school also. What is ECCE? What are its principles? What is NCF framework? What is Nipun Bharat strategy? So what are the things we are doing? So give an orientation to the entire staff of the school, that so that the whole school is involved and contributes to anything related to FLN and ECCE happening in the school. Next, coming to competency-based assessments, use exit tickets. That is, at the end of the class, you can say, student, you need to answer this question, and then we will close the class. So like that. Then quizzes can happen, oral questions can be done, and all this can be assessed. Include projects, group work, and demonstration in the assessment. Track individual student progress using rubrics, as I showed earlier. Conduct regular reflection and feedback sessions with the students. So give them regular feedback where they need improvement, what has to be done, etc., so that the child is on track. So then coming to skill-based and experiential learning. Here what you can do, include activities like gardening, basic budgeting, financial learning. Financial education is very important these days. So everywhere it's being highlighted also. So like talk a lot of budgeting or map reading, partner with local artisans and professionals. As we said, skill periods, right? There. Then use role play, experiment, or problem solving challenges in the classroom. Offer short weekly hands-on activities which are linked to real life skills. So in this way, skill-based experiential learning can be made cost effective. So an activity very quickly. So choose one of the NEP reform, as we have FLN, ECCE, competency-based, skill-based experiential learning. One or two, you need to share one or two low-cost doable actions you would want to implement in your school under this reform. Maybe the ones which I have suggested, or maybe you have something different in your school, which is again low cost, most importantly, low cost. and practically applicable, doable. Anything?
Yeah, with old magazines and newspaper cuttings, we can encourage students to do greeting cards or any special cards on the festivals.
Exactly, sir. Yeah. So they can bring in all the magazines and newspapers from their home instead of giving it in the to the raddi, we can say. They can get it and do some creative activity. Thank you, Ajay, sir. Anybody else? Maybe.
Today we made them to bring mehendi, and the mehendi program is going on in our school today.
Oh, wow. That's interesting, sir. You can post some pictures in the group, sir.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Let's go ahead. Positioning your school as NEP ready. Like, how do you show that your school is NEP ready? I know the words itself is self-explanatory. Can anybody add to this? Are you a NEP ready school?
Uniformity across the nation,
Uniform across the nation? Okay. In terms of
yeah.
education, yeah.
Not only education, co-curricular, extracurricular, curricular activities, all.
Okay. Very much near, sir. So how this uniformity is brought?
By statutory and as well as showing the strong points in the national education policy, what's
Yes.
happening.
So basically, it's through aligning to the new education policy reforms, etc.
Exactly.
Yes. So why NEP readiness matters? One is it makes your school give a future ready appeal. Like parents seek future ready schools, right? So everything anticipating what is going to happen in the future, all those things are prepared and the school is ready. So it gives a future ready appeal. And when you're NEP ready, your school is NEP ready, a lot of trust and transparency is created through involving all the NEP based practices. You will be having a lot of trust and transparency throughout the country, among all the teachers, among all the schools. Also, credibility and compliance will be developed. You will be very credible with whatever you're doing, and you will be giving a good quality education according to NEP guidelines. So that is how NEP readiness matters. And next is parents are satisfied. When you're NEP ready, parents are satisfied because that is a trend. Like it attracts quality. Also, with parent satisfaction, quality admissions are attracted. Parents become they advocate your school. They say your school is the best, and so many things are being done according to NEP, and that's why your brand becomes famous, and you will attract more admissions, as well as you will retain the existing students also. So that kind of an branding sets up when NEP readiness is there in the school. So how to position yourself NEP ready? One is know the NEP well, all its frameworks and structures, strategies, Nipun Bharat strategies, etc. Know them well and work on it and implement it in the school step by step. Start small, act smart. So small, step by step, you start implementing, maybe as a pilot with a small set of students, and then when it's successful, to the entire school. Next is train and empower the teachers with all the NEP guidelines and the frameworks, etc. And all the rubrics, etc. you can give to the teachers to implement it in the class. Next, align assessments with NEP goals, competency-based assessments you have to start with. And next, communicate and involve the parents also through WhatsApp, social media, etc. You can communicate all the success stories of your school and involve parents through parent orientations, not just parent meetings at the end of a unit test, but involve them through different activities in the school. And also track progress. So at what level your NEP implementation is, track the progress, and wherever improvement is required, modify your strategies and successfully implement them. With all these things, you will be positioned as NEP ready. So here's a small assignment for you. Reflect and write a 5-point NEP action plan on one change you will implement under each NEP reform, whether it's FLN, ECC, assessment, or experiential, and then one step to build parent awareness. So these 5 points you need to write and submit in the group. We will be sharing a document related to that. So in that document, you can fill in the points and share it in the group, or type the points in the WhatsApp group. So hopefully a lot of things will be contributed in the WhatsApp group by you. And I'm also hopeful that this session was very fruitful to you. So let's do a quick summary. We spoke about NEP 2020 and we said it's not a distant policy, it's a present opportunity. So implement all the 4 important reforms in your school. Focus on these 4 reforms: FLN, ECC, assessment, competency assessment, and skill-based learning. Teachers need practical guidance, so train them to become facilitators, not just teachers. Start with small, low-cost actions. This will help improve your school and take your school forward and make it NEP ready. And communicate to the parents with all the activities and successes of your school. Involve them about being NEP ready, and being NEP ready is your brand strength. So if you're NEP ready, definitely you have a stronger brand in the school market. So all the best to all the schools. You can contact Varthana if you have any queries regarding financial support or academic support on 080-68455-777. You can also email to us at hello@varthana.com.